Greg, Pennsylvania voters watched Democrat John Fetterman and Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz face off in their only debate on Tuesday night. Fetterman's post-stroke struggle was on full display.
The only person on this stage right now that was successful about pushing back against gun violence and being the community more safe.
Closed captioning technology assisted the Democrat with auditory processing issues he faces. Top debate issues included inflation, abortion, and crime, with Fetterman halting, stumbling, and seemed to have trouble understanding and expressing himself.
Here's what I think we have to fight about inflation here right now. That's what we need to fight about inflation, right now, because it's a tax on working families, and Dr. Oz can't possibly understand what that is.
One of the most painful moments was Fetterman's flip-flopping on fracking.
But there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, "I don't support fracking at all." So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking.
Dr. Oz was pressed by Fetterman on whether he supports an abortion ban.
I don't want the federal government involved with that at all. I want women, doctors, local political leaders, letting the democracy that's always allowed our nation to thrive, to put the best ideas forward so states can decide for themselves. Contrast that with my opponent, John Fetterman, who on this debate stage said that he would demand federally mandated rules for all states they'd have to follow that would allow abortion at 38 weeks on the delivery table, and he would force it to be subsidized by taxpayers across the country no matter what their personal beliefs
Results from an online poll by local ABC 27 showed Dr. Oz winning that debate by 20 points. In the second and final debate for Michigan's future, Governor Gretchen Whitmer faced Republican challenger Tudor Dixon.
For those of you who don't know me, I want to introduce myself. I'm a mom of 4 girls. I'm a wife. I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm a worker. I spent many years on the shop floor of a steel foundry, and as a mom, I understand what it's like to have kids locked out of school and try to get them back on track.
The candidates spent the most time on abortion. Michiganders will have Proposal 3 on their November 8th ballot, which would put the right to kill unborn babies into the state constitution.
We have an opportunity to enshrine Roe into law by supporting ballot initiative 3. Now, the other side will say all sorts of wild-eyed things that are not true. Parental rights and consent will still be effective.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're not being honest about what Proposal 3 is. The governor has just been dishonest with you in her very first answer. We know that Proposal 3 does remove parental consent. It also makes it so that you don't have to be a doctor to perform an abortion. But it does align with her agenda. Her past, she's voted against a ban on partial birth abortion. And Proposal 3 allows abortion up to the moment of birth.
A new poll shows the two candidates in a statistical tie. In the only debate of the New York governor's race, incumbent Democrat Kathy Hochul took on Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin. Both wasted no time going at one another about crime, abortion, and the economy.
Crime. I'm here for one reason: to save our state. There are criminals out there who need to pay the consequences for their action instead of the catch-release policies that Kathy Hochul championed.
The two sparred for 15 minutes on crime alone. Just last weekend, there were 2 unprovoked assaults in New York City subways where victims were pushed onto the tracks. Crime in the city's subway is up more than 41%. Both also addressed who should run in 2024 for president.
Do you want to see Joe Biden run for re-election?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to see Donald Trump run for president in 2024, Lee Zeldin?
Not even thinking about it. I'm focused on 14 days from today.
Zeldin is endorsed by former President Donald Trump, and Hochul spent the summer attacking him over this and his pro-life stance. Fior.
Mike, nearly 10 million ballots have been cast in early voting across the country so far. According to the United States Election Project, early voting totals indicate that 9.5 million ballots have been cast by mail and in person, and over 41 million mail-in ballots have been requested. In states with party affiliation, more than 50% of the ballots cast have been Democrats, compared to 30% by Republicans. Mail-in ballots from Democrats have doubled those of Republicans. Florida, California, Georgia, and Michigan reported the highest number of mail-in ballots cast, surpassing 1 million. Recently, former President Barack Obama released an ad urging the young to vote. In 2020, more young people voted than in any election since the 1970s. Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan was mocked for what some said was a lackluster turnout at a campaign event just 2 weeks from the midterm election. Ryan is running for Senate in Ohio against Republican J.D. Vance, who sarcastically tweeted he was getting worried about his chances after he saw what he called a, quote, massive and enthusiastic crowd for Ryan at a town hall. Vance's critics say the Ryan event of about 19 people was a Tuesday morning at a church, not a rally. A new Marist poll released Monday shows the two in a dead heat. Greg?
And in a recent survey by Pew Research, 73% of Americans are very concerned about rising food and consumer good prices due to inflation. According to this survey, 81% of Republicans said food and good prices were very concerning, and 66% of Democrats agreed. Gasoline and energy prices worried 69% of Americans, while the cost of housing concerned 60%. The survey revealed all registered voters believe the economy is the top issue, and 79% call it very important, with the midterms just around the corner. Approximately 80% of registered voters from both parties said they were highly motivated to vote this November. Breitbart News is reporting grocery store prices have skyrocketed by 13%, with gasoline prices spiking 19.7% and core inflation rising 6.6%, the highest it's been in 40 years. With all of that, somehow Joe Biden continues to say the economy is strong, even stronger than it was before the pandemic. Fior?